Hey guys, what's up? Spectre here, and we need to talk about this little game that was teased at the EA press conference and then revealed proper at the Microsoft conference, and that's Anthem. It looks beautiful, interesting, and it's being brought to us by one of the most respected studios in games today. It also looks like it might be taking Destiny head on. Let's take another look at that gameplay and pick out some choice details about it and discuss it a bit further. First off, players will be known as freelancers. In the gameplay, it's specifically stated as you and your friends are known as freelancers, another little nod to social play, just like another game that we know. You'll use powered armor suits known as javelins to strike out into a hostile world beyond the walls of Fort Tarsis, seemingly your home. From the beginning of the reveal, the world around you seems to be densely populated with NPCs who actively seek you out and assign you quests or objectives. This NPC seems to be named Prexley. As you join up with two other team members, we can overhear players deciding what javelin they'll be using today, suggesting that there are different javelin builds for different purposes, almost like classes. The one we see here is the Ranger Javelin. She also references some new upgrades suggesting we'll be tricking out our javelins with new gear. We may also be getting a glimpse of shoulder-mounted weapons for the Ranger here as well. The second teammate drops in with a mortar attached to their javelin. Throughout the video, we get glimpses of their respective levels, all of the players being in their lower 30s. And of course, we can fly like Iron Man. There's no concrete details yet about how big this open world is, or if everything that we see during flight is playable space, but it certainly looked that way. And this actually concerns me. According to a recent Kotaku piece, BioWare had trouble creating large open worlds for Mass Effect Andromeda using the Frostbite engine, the very same engine that Anthem is running on. A narrator reiterates the emphasis on exploring with friends, and we're reminded that each Javelin build is different, with different attributes that allow players to take different roles in a given group, such as tanks or support. The planet's surface seems to be teeming with wildlife, something that's very obviously devoid from planets in Destiny. There seems to be an actual food chain at play here as the larger enemies prey on the smaller fauna. But we can also get a glimpse at our combat HUD. We seem to have some sort of special attack triggered by the left and right bumpers pressed simultaneously, just like in Destiny, and different kinds of ammo fired from the left and right bumpers, when pressed alone. I'd venture to guess that the bumpers fire shoulder-mounted weapons, but that's just speculation. After our player evades the large enemy, they dive underwater, finding a new location which awards them with even more XP, a nice addition to the multiplayer shoot-and-loot games that we see today, which don't really reward your exploration. As a few smaller enemies engage our team, we get a quick glimpse at a few things. First, we get an idea of how quickly Ranger's shields can deplete if you look in the lower right corner, and a sort of ground pound ability used by the tank Javelin in front of us. As the icon for Longfall Ruins comes across our screen, the players say, "Have you ever been there, and we should do that later with Kim," making it sound like something akin to small dungeons or delves in other games, small explorable areas possibly full of loot. Or something like the upcoming Lost Sectors of Destiny 2. Enemies seem to have an incredible degree of variety in tactics and scale. We saw huge hulking beasts, smaller armed aliens, and now this massive robotic enemy here. There seems to be a degree of destructibility in the environment as well. Something akin to Levolution in Battlefield. Enemies seem to be known as Scars and speak a garbled alien language. They seem to be able to take command of technology similar to our javelins, making the playing field much more even. And I was right. Right bumper allows you to dole out some serious body-mounted damage as you rain justice from above like someone else that we all know and love. After completing this large-scale world event, players can expect loot drops like this legendary rifle. As a Shaper Storm begins, we can see a real weather system at play, and drop-in co-op is on display as two more join the team. Each team member also seems to have an elemental burn associated with them, perhaps nodding to their Javelin modifications. Overall, this title seems to be a social shooter with loot, leveling systems, customization, and quests. This definitely seems to be the competitor to Destiny that has been rumored all year. Although we saw a quick look at the co-op moment-to-moment gameplay, I'd like to see more in the game world and settlements, as well as the skill trees and more customization before I form my opinion on the game. It definitely looks cool, and with BioWare at the helm, I'm sure the story will be interesting. There are of course a few concerns, especially after the issues they had with Andromeda, but the idea of a shared world shooter with a dynamic story is definitely something I'm on board for, and some real competition for Destiny is definitely a welcome thing. What do you think? Does the fact that it looks like Destiny scare you off, or does it make you even more excited? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.